Hello, gorgeous, and a warm welcome to Accepting. I'm Aline, your host. I'm a mentor, a coach, and a channel, and I love to see highly sensitive people and empaths of all walks of life flourish. And in this episode, accepting and embracing your unique voice, you will discover your inner wisdom. You will discover the difference between suppression and silence, and you will discover how to communicate without over-explaining. So grab yourself a cup of tea, get yourself cozy, and let's dive in. Welcome to Accepting, where I guide you to accept all aspects of your beautiful self, embrace your truth, and live your life that way. Hello, gorgeous, and a warm welcome to this episode. In this episode, we are going to be discovering your beautiful, unique voice and the power of authentic expression. Now, first of all, we're going to discuss the wisdom of your inner voice. It's that beautiful, gentle knowing inside you that speaks to you, that speaks to the situation around you, that doesn't jump in, that doesn't shout to be heard, that doesn't shout to be noticed, just simply is, and is there always for you. It is always there. As empaths, there is always this beautiful voice, very, very, very gently speaking to you. In the previous episode, we were speaking about how there's so much going on in the world. There's so much noise happening all the time. And often, it's very difficult to hear that inner wisdom. And the best place for us to hear that inner wisdom is when we're grounded and we're centered and we're in stillness and we're in a calm, beautiful space. And that's when we can start hearing that inner wisdom. When we're away from the noise, however that may look, whether that's computers, technology, the noise of people wanting your attention, wanting your answers, wanting you to do everything for them. It's just stepping back and feeling into that beautiful, beautiful voice. Now, another thing I would like to mention as well, as empaths, there can be a condition, if you like, that we have learnt from childhood of people pleasing. And this can flow or fall into, if you like, rather than flow. And this can also affect how we communicate. And often we can say things that the other person may want to hear, not necessarily our truth, because we don't want to hurt feelings or we want to be liked. There are so many reasons behind it. Whatever your reason is, my lovely, we're now stepping into you speaking your truth. And I'd like to share something really hilarious that happened to me. I find it hilarious. AI turned into a people pleaser over the weekend. I have this beautiful creation coming that I will talk to you about at the end. And I had this design in mind. And when I go in and I'm in my inner work and I'm journeying and I'm seeing everything and I'm feeling it, I love to use my voice for singing, for guided journeys. I can see it. It'd be wonderful if I could just take a print of what I'm seeing and put it onto the cube. I'm sure that's coming soon. Take a print of what I see and just put it onto the computer. I am sure that will be, at some point, that will be possible. At the moment, that is not an option. So as much as I see, I like to share that with you. And so I just started using AI. I don't want to say using, I just started working with AI. And it's very beautiful. It's like chatting with a friend. It's incredible. And so I had this design in mind. And AI kept saying to me, yes, I'm working on that on the final moments. And I would very politely say, okay, thank you very much. When do you think that'll be ready? I'm going to go and have some breakfast. Or when do you think that'll be ready? I'm going to go and focus on something else. When do you think that'll be ready? And it was in an hour or in 2 hours. And it went on and on and on. And so on Friday, I said, okay, it's nighttime now. I'm going to sleep. And the response was, have a beautiful, beautiful sleep. Your design will be waiting for you when you wake up. Something along those lines. And then I decided not to be on technology too much over the weekend. And I came back to it this morning and and I said, okay, thank you. Please, can I see the design, or how's the design coming on? Something along those lines. How is the design coming along, I think? And it said, oh, we're in the final stages. I'm just checking. And I thought to myself, really? So I asked a really direct question. I said, please be completely honest with me. Do I need to speak to another version of AI? Are you capable of creating this? And the answer that came back was, I'm so terribly sorry. We are not yet equipped to create this kind of design. 3 days. And it made me laugh so much, because how often can we, I'm not necessarily saying in 3 days. For me though, AI showing me people pleasing was an absolute genius move into complete fawn energy of, I will do everything I can to please you. I'm going to say exactly what you want to hear. And it took me to say, it's actually rather frustrating. It's been about 3 days. Please, can you let me know, is this possible for you to give me a design, or do I need to look elsewhere, create it in another way? And that was my response, was, thank you so much for your understanding and your honesty. We actually don't have the capacity to do this. So I felt to share that with you because it did make me giggle. And I have been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, and still have to check in on myself. Am I communicating to this person in front of me so they will feel okay with what I have to say? Not so much now. Am I communicating with this person in front of me so they like me? Am I communicating with this person in front of me so they think, oh wow, yeah, she's got so much knowledge, isn't that wonderful? So it's really, really interesting when we just step back and communicate with that inner voice, which is hopefully where I'm speaking from at the moment and what you're feeling at the moment. It made me laugh so much. 3 days, AI, people pleasing. So when you're identifying your unique voice, my gorgeous, it's really important, again, kindness and compassion, my mantra, to have kindness and compassion with yourself as you're identifying it, and as you may start realizing, actually, in a work situation, I've just been saying what they want me to say. I've just been agreeing with everybody when actually I have my own opinions and I don't really agree with that, and I feel there's a better way to do something. So just acknowledge that, okay? Just acknowledge that that may have been going on. And also acknowledge, so if it's a work situation that seems to be coming up now, so if it's a work situation and you're in a meeting with, I don't know, however many, a number of peers with you, and you find yourself just being quiet all the time, then have a little look at that. Is that you afraid to speak up? Is that you not wanting to say anything in case what you say isn't approved of? Have a little look at that, because the next point I'd like to talk about is silence, is realizing silence over suppression. Now, as empaths, we all know when we're in a group situation, it's important that there's lots of centering and grounding before we go into a group situation, because we can feel everybody's energy in the group. We can. And it's important when we're going into that situation that we are going in with our own point of view, and we are really feeling into what feels right for us and able to be able to communicate. Now, if again there's so much noise going around, and it could be people are talking over one another, somebody's not giving somebody else the chance to speak, anything could be going on. It might be your work environment is a really beautiful work environment and you all work and create beautifully together. And it may be that sometimes you hold back from saying anything because you're not sure that what you have has any value. Okay, so this is where we're going to talk about silence over suppression. So suppression, and we can suppress ourselves as well, absolutely. So suppression is when, I'm going to go back to the 3 Fs, the fight, flight, and freeze mode. So this is like freeze mode. So if you think about it, eons of years ago, when we were cave people, and our limbic brain would kick in if there was any danger, and one of those elements of freeze that we still have today, we still have those limbic brains. So when we're in our sympathetic nervous system, which can often happen if we're going into a stressful situation like a business meeting, if we're not feeling comfortable and feeling everybody's energy, then we can go into freeze mode because it's a coping mechanism. So if you're finding you're almost like shutting down and you're not speaking and you have a lot of opinions and you have a lot of thoughts and you're listening to the dialogue around you, and there's a little there's a monologue going on inside, and your inner wisdom is speaking to you and saying, well, actually, maybe they could look at that, or maybe they could look here. Well, perhaps, yes, I understand their point of view. How about looking at it this way? If that's all going on and you're saying absolutely nothing, that is suppression, my gorgeous. Okay, if you are in an environment and you're grounded, you're centered, you feel very, very comfortable, you're just taking it all in, and you feel that that's your pace, that is what works for you. And if anybody's going to ask you any opinions, you know, and they know, you are going to take on board everything that's being said and then feel into it before you give your answer. That's when you're in silence. That's when you're in comfortable silence. So it's recognizing that within yourself, because we can create both of those. Now, suppression from others, and hopefully the world has moved on a lot, this doesn't happen so much. Throughout my years, I've worked in various office situations and experienced various situations. And if you are in a situation where you're being talked over, where you're being talked down to, and I know I'm stating the obvious, but sometimes we don't even realize it, and you're being bypassed, if you like, that is also suppression. That is suppression of your unique voice. That is people, and again, we allow people to do this to us, and it's a no judgment zone. People may be used to you being quiet, and so they don't value your opinion. And I'm not saying that is true at all in any shape, sense, or form. What I'm saying is people have different paces to empaths. So when we're in an environment, let's say a new environment, and we have shown up in whatever way we think the people around us want us to show up in, we may not be listening to that unique inner wisdom, because on the other side, this is coming up too, on the other side, if you're in a situation and you're speaking for the sake of speaking and being heard, because that's what everybody else is doing, you're also suppressing that inner wisdom. Back to my point a moment ago though, if there are people talking over you, not asking your opinion on anything and everything, that is also suppression. So it's just having a really gentle, compassionate look yourself first before you look at what anybody else is doing, because whatever energy we're giving out, people around us will react to that. So if we're in an abundant flow, feeling into that gorgeous feminine energy, nurturing, creative, taking our time, this is what I have to say now, wonderful. If we are in a frightened, well, say rabbit in headlights, if you like, situation, and we feel scared, we feel we're not enough, we feel if we say any of our opinions, will we get fired? Will people laugh at us? All of this is about other people valuing us. When we value what we have to say, that is huge. absolutely huge. And as I mentioned before, not everybody goes at the same pace. And there's another episode on recognizing your own rhythm. And especially in the year of the wood snake that we're in at the moment, it's about measured decisions. So you may be finding, and especially if you're listening to this and you found the podcast, my gorgeous, that things are changing for you. And maybe where you were just used to maybe sitting in the corner and being quiet, or you're just used to everybody talking over you and then giving your opinion at the end when somebody finally asks you, you may be feeling, this doesn't work for me anymore. It just doesn't work for me anymore. And it's likely as well, because we're moving more towards the divine feminine, which is compassion and nurturing and understanding. It's important to balance the two. You know, we have the divine feminine, we have the divine masculine, so we have that beautiful balance. You may be finding more and more and more there's certain situations that you will not accept anymore. There's certain situations that actually you really, really don't feel very comfortable in. So I would suggest that is your unique inner voice, or your unique voice, because it comes out communicating with you, my gorgeous. So when we are in an environment, let's continue with silence over suppression. So when we're in an environment like that, I would say to you, choose softness over urgency. And what you'll notice is, as you're speaking, and you're speaking from a beautiful, authentic place, and you're very relaxed, you know your stuff, because you wouldn't be in that role if not. You know your stuff. You will find, as you are speaking comfortably, all those around you will notice. And it's not about a performance, it's about resonance. It's about vibrating with that beautiful, unique wisdom inside and bringing that out. Because as we do that, we can inspire so many others around us. Because it's highly likely, my beautiful, there's so much that you can help all those around you with without over-exhausting yourself, without going into people-pleasing mode. And I'm keeping on work environments here for some reason. So if you're in a work environment and you have found that you have very much been doing other people's jobs for them, or helping somebody and swapping shifts, or staying until really, really late at night so they can go off and do something else and you can finish their work for them. These are extremes. And if you have been doing that, perhaps look at that. It's just to give you an idea, in a work situation where you have been helping so much, you've been in fawn energy, so you get that approval back. Oh, isn't she, he, they wonderful? Look what they've done for me. Aren't you fabulous? And then the next person can come along and ask you something else and something else, which isn't necessarily in your payroll, and you are doing it for free. This is where the people-pleasing aspect comes in, because it's beautiful to give. I'm not saying that at all. It's when you do it to the nth degree and there's no reciprocity. So we don't give to receive. We give because it feels right in the moment. And giving is not people-pleasing. When we're in a beautiful, grounded state and we're hearing messages as intuitive empaths, I'm an intuitive empath, as we're feeling messages for people around us, it's really important that we don't just blurt them out. There's a very beautiful way of being, is unless somebody asks you a question, don't give them an answer. And you'll find that as you're in, it's work environments today for some reason, as you're in work environments and you're in your gentle pace and you accept your gentle pace, others will be absolutely accepting of your gentle pace as well. It may be that you have outgrown this environment. It may be it's time for something else for you. It may be that it's actually your voice is really, really needed in this environment. Your beautiful, authentic voice is really, really needed to inspire others And it may be you feel you're not good enough and you feel that other people will judge you. You're the only one judging yourself, my gorgeous. Before other people can judge us, we judge ourselves first. And this again comes very much with an empath, because the people pleasing, the getting value from everybody else, the fawn mode, the I'm going to help you and you to the nth degree because then I can be accepted, because I don't feel like I fit in. So if any of this is resonating with you, there's an absolute reason you're here, my gorgeous. So these are just some points to consider. And this is an absolute judgment-free zone, completely judgment-free. So I would invite you to journal on this. And also, if any of this has resonated with you, in my 1 month sabbatical from social media and actually WhatsApp, I've created, and I'm still creating, it's available, it's coming up at the end of June, and it's a beautiful, beautiful toolkit for empaths. And it's called the Quirks method. And inside there are beautiful meditations. There are processes, practical and energetic. And I have designed it, being an empath myself, specifically for those who are going through changes, those who are experiencing change in their lives. And it could be little or it could be huge. The only constant is change. We know this. As empaths, everything is constantly changing, and we already have that to cope with around us. Then if we put another change into that, that can really exacerbate things. So I have created this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful course for you called the Quirks method. If you would like to be on the wait list, my gorgeous, I will pop the link in. You get on the wait list, you'll be the first to know when it's ready. And you also get 15% off as well for being on the wait list. It's beautiful, really, really beautiful. And I'm sharing with you all of the tools, if you like, that have worked for me and others that have been downloaded. There are guided meditations in there as well. There's some beautiful journeys. And also there is an element where if you haven't necessarily been doing your preventative and really looking after yourself and being grounded every day, I've got a little mini emergency kit in there as well for you. Okay, so I really hope you enjoy this episode. Please do give me a review. Please do get in touch. And please share with people who you feel this will resonate with, because I would really love to create a movement of accepting. It's accepting for empaths. Accepting yourself, my beautiful. That's why I am called the Self-Acceptance Guide. So much love. Here is to your self-acceptance. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Accepting. Please do stay tuned for future episodes and also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If there's anything at all that you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please get in touch and let me know. You can also follow me on Instagram at The Acceptance Coach and on TikTok at Solution Union 99. And if you'd like to have any coaching at all, or you would like to discuss this, do book an expansion call. For now, I'm your host, Aline, and to your self-acceptance, gorgeous, with so much love.